All right, welcome everybody. Today we're talking about a new special innovation hub that's going to happen in Cleveland. And for that, our guest Sachin from Ernst& Young is joining us. Welcome, Sachin. Give us a brief overview around the announcement that Ernst& Young and Nottingham Spurk around the innovation hub in greater details. Anything around the partnerships, the goals for the hub?
Yeah, absolutely. Firstly, thank you for having me. It's good to see you, and I'm glad to see you're doing great. Um, as you know, Lucian, with this pandemic that is hit all of us pretty hard. It's especially hit manufacturing and industrial companies um, as a shock, and they were already grappling with the challenge of continuous improvement and increasing employee productivity and driving a new growth agenda prior to this pandemic. But what COVID has done has really shifted customer preferences and has really brought a lot of challenges around workforce health, safety, besides liquidity, and really put digital transformation in the driver's seat, if you will. As we engage with clients, what's been fascinating is to them all the noise around digital transformation, digital disruption, Industry 4.0 is so abstract that they struggle to find ways to put that and apply it to drive business value. So, the purpose of the EY Innovation Hub that we are building in Cleveland, Ohio, with Nottingham Spurk and a host of other ecosystem partners is really to demystify what the future of manufacturing is, bring it to life in an immersive environment, and really create that experience both physically or virtually, which we're already doing, to help our clients understand how they transform their business and the customers they serve. So, really excited about this and obviously happy to share more context as we talk further. But thank you for having me.
Sure. Thanks for that introduction. Yes, I'm super excited about Cleveland. So if you're driving three direction right after day, you get about 50% of U.S. manufacturing. So it's a great place to have that. Excited to see that a lot of these digital transformation discussions tend to happen in Silicon Valley, where it's vendor to vendor, but now it's in Cleveland. So let's dive a little bit deeper. How is AY and Nottingham Spur work together to help the clients meet those evolving challenges, right? Because
Yeah,
as you know, it's not something that's visible. First, third, second, third industrial revolution was something tangible. This is a little more different.
yes,
Yes,
absolutely. I
absolutely.
think
I
firstly,
think
a
first,
point around picking Cleveland as a key one. This was a very thoughtful process. As you rightly said, when you talk about technology led disruption, everybody looks to Silicon Valley for answers. But given our focus on manufacturing, we wanted to be, located right where the industry is. And as you can see, by being in Cleveland, we can serve not just the Ohio belt, but also our automotive and transportation customers based in Detroit and other manufacturing companies in Chicago and other parts of the region. So that was a very critical choice we made up front. The second choice as part of this center was picking a partner like Nottingham Spurk. And I'll give you some context on who and why. So Nottingham Spurk is a product design and innovation firm that's actually been in business for 50 plus years. Their founders, John Nottingham and John Spurk, are some of the most brilliant minds I've ever worked with. They founded the company coming out of Case Western Reserve as industrial engineers with a big focus on product innovation. And what's interesting is the commercialization success they've had over the last 50 years. They have 1,250 plus patents, and the commercialization rate is 96%, which, as you know, the typical industry average is about 5%. Uh, and as we look at the challenges manufacturing as an industry is going through and the need to drive a growth agenda, speed to market is absolutely critical. So we wanted to team with Nottingham Spurk, who, by the way, is also an EY, Entrepreneur of the Year winner from 2017. So we've had a close working relationship with them now for 3 plus years. But as we started to ideate on bringing to life the future of manufacturing and mobility in Cleveland, it became very clear that our passion and purpose were both very closely aligned and our capabilities were complementary. The other thing they bring to the table, which is pretty fascinating, Lucian, is the facility. So they are headquartered in Cleveland, and the building is a old Christian church that they've repurposed to be their headquarters. It's a 60,000 square foot facility, a little bigger than the White House. Actually, you can see it in my background, if you will. But there is something just magical about walking into the space. Although we are creating these experiences virtually for our clients given the pandemic, but prior to COVID, as we hosted some local clients, once they stepped in, they were truly inspired. And as you know, any innovation journey starts with inspiration first, and the rest is perspiration, as they say. It's been great working with them. We obviously have other ecosystem partners that will bring this center to life for us and our clients. But so that's the reason for picking Cleveland. That's who Nottingham Spoke is. And like I said, when we combine their product innovation capabilities with EY's deep industry expertise, our technology capabilities, and an ecosystem that can bring new ideas to life, it'll be a fascinating journey to take with our clients. And I couldn't be more excited.
Thank you for those details. And yes, I visited Nottingham Spark as I was a student at Case West and grad of the Weatherhead School of Management, and late Professor Osborne, my favorite professor and all-time professor, Richard. One of his classes, he's basically had several groups out of 40 some students in the class, form a group of four, and ultimately we went and presenting at Nottingham the idea. So essentially, come up with a product and do that. So very interesting way to filter through the innovative ideas, and some of them actually made it into commercial. They are commercialized. So let's talk a little about the physical space in particular. Walk us through the live factory floor in a church-like setting. So are we hoping for a miracle because it's Cleveland, or
Yeah, so uh, a little bit more about the physical space, although, like I said, we've been recreating the experience virtually and have really reinvented how we engage clients by applying capabilities called EY Wave Space, which really bring all of the same tools, methods, and capabilities that we would apply in a physical setting to a virtual setting. And we've seen a lot of success engaging with the C suite globally with our
Mhm.
clients. But the beauty of this space, Lucian, is uh, Nottingham Spoke has used this facility from starting with the customer first, which they're really passionate about, and really having focus groups to really understand what are the deepest pain points and desires of the end consumers, and starting the innovation journey from there. So anything we do is very, very customer centric, applying design thinking and other capabilities. Secondly, um, they've done all the prototyping, designing, engineering in house. Now, clearly, as they've scaled their products that have generated 50 billion in revenues, they've then contracted manufacturing around the world to be able to scale their innovations. Interestingly, one quick example I'll give you: the electric toothbrush, which used to be at $100 price point. They reinvented that at a $5 price point at retail. Obviously, the cost was significantly lower. At one point, they were the largest importer of batteries in China based on, this innovation actually doubled the electric toothbrush market. So, where I'm going with this is as you walk into the space, you get to see all their patents on a wall, and then all the physical product innovations across industries, from consumer products to med devices to manufacturing, and really see the success they've had. Then, as you walk into the space, you will actually get to see the garage that we are building, where the idea is to co create, co innovate, and have deeper interactions with our clients together. And the entire experience will be personalized um, based on who you are and what your business objectives are. So even before you come to the center, uh, we will work with you to do a survey so we understand and benchmark your performance, understand your business objectives, your priorities, whether you're the CFO or a COO or even a plant manager for a manufacturing company, or you're looking at transforming uh, your products and make them more sustainable. Whatever your agenda is, the entire physical experience will be tailored to your and your team's needs. And the physical aspect of the center will also be to actually see a physical factory come to life with all the digital technologies, from IoT sensors to applying AI and machine learning to applying digital tools like AR and VR to amplify the operators of these critical assets on the shop floor and make their work more productive, more data driven. So, all of these technologies will come to life in a very persona based way, if you will. So, you can actually start to see how these capabilities actually drive business value, which most of our clients actually struggle with. So, the idea is to bring these capabilities to life, but then spend the time with them applying, like I said, our wave space methodology and capabilities to help our clients build a roadmap from now to next and beyond with an ROI led approach. Because unless you start with the end in mind, it's hard to scale digital transformation. As you've heard the word pilot purgatory time and time again, as companies have taken a technology first approach with digital technologies, it's really led to a lot of pilots not being able to scale. So we've actually created physical experiences to actually serve as an input into this end state visioning process, where the clients actually walk away with a tailored roadmap for their own transformation journey, and getting all stakeholders not just aligned but excited about taking this journey. So I know I said a lot. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about this, very excited about this, and happy to answer more specific questions.
Yeah, and I'm super excited that's happening in Cleveland now. I know you alluded a little bit about pandemic. It hurt some of the manufacturing, yet others had accelerated the digital transformation. I think to paraphrase the CEO of Microsoft, it probably accelerated about 2 to 3 years the digital transformation process. To others, it's a catalyst in terms of the accelerate the rate of getting funds towards some of these projects. Why is 2021 the right moment to do a manufacturing hub in Cleveland, and why Cleveland? And perhaps if you can allude, are there other similar innovation hubs around the world that Ernst has?
Yes, Lucian, I think that's a great question. I truly believe 2021 will really be a tipping point for how manufacturing companies and the sense of urgency they have to transform with what COVID has done is really exposed um, inefficiencies across the enterprise. And more importantly, customer preferences have shifted significantly as well. My 66-year-old mother in India, who's never used a computer in her life, is now paying her bills online, shopping for groceries online, and now interacting with the grandkids, using WhatsApp, FaceTime. So, what's interesting is as consumer preferences have now extremely shifted to adopting digital, manufacturing companies are still caught in a B2B world where they've always sold through distributors and other channels and have never had direct connection with the end customer. And now are being forced to become customer centric and shift from being B2B companies to being B2B to C. So that's a big shift. EY does a global consumer index, and what we found based on our index through the pandemic is 39% of the consumers have said that they will shift buying products and services that they bought in stores to now buying online. Hence, a big shift to e-commerce, digital sales, digital marketing, and putting the customer at the center of everything our clients do. So I think that has triggered this tipping point. And as you can imagine, once you start to become more customer centric, that forces you to rethink how are you going to deliver products and services tailored to their needs in a more agile manner across all the touch points you have with them, which means you need to reconfigure your supply chains from being just in time to just in case, especially with what the pandemic has done. Like I said, companies need to build more agility and resilience, and the way they do that is by becoming more data driven and building more optionality as they make where they sell so they can meet their customers' needs on an on demand basis, similar to what Amazon and others have done. So, having the right network of physical locations and having a data driven approach across this interconnected supply chain has become even more critical. Thirdly, how you digitize and automate and adopt cloud, IoT, AI, machine learning, other technologies in becoming more data driven. So your people are actually making decisions based on real time data and not reacting has become even more essential. And be able to do all of this remotely if needed. The pandemic is still not over, and today it's COVID. In the future, it could be something else. It is very important that we enable the workforce to operate as effectively remotely as they can do in a physical environment. So that's why I believe um, 2021 will be a tipping point for manufacturing companies to embrace transformation. It's no longer an option, it is a mandate at the board level and is being driven top down and also bottoms up. And that's why I believe 2021 will be a great year for the industry and for all of us.
Appreciate the examples and the personal examples, always putting things in context. And I like your reference about the manufacturing, how it has changed, right? So 20 years when I graduated from engineering school, like started at the company that were in manufacturing, we are distribution model, right? One distributor at a time is the linear thinking model. You can predict what it will be 6 steps ahead. Where in this times that we are today in this more of an exponential going direct towards having being a manufacturer but being able to tap into community, you're leaning towards this exponential growth, so there's a huge opportunity of value to be extracting, just changing that thinking. I guess I wanted to see what words of wisdom in closing do you have for small to mid-sized companies. Perhaps if you look at the US manufacturing, there's, I don't know, roughly 80% of small to mid-size, perhaps for those people that are 20 people or less, where the CEO is also a CTO or may not even have a CTO, you may rely on external, how they embark on leveraging some of these, hopefully they can
Great
start.
question, Lucian. And to your point, I'm starting to spend a lot more time with mid-market as much as I do with Fortune 100 companies in this space. What's interesting is with the pace of change in technology, I think whether you're a small company or a Fortune 100, the beauty of cloud is now everybody has access to the same innovation that a Fortune 100 company has. So you can still use um, Microsoft, Amazon, IBM, or Google's deep learning algorithms or other microservices, depending on what your needs are, and adopt and embrace and embed those capabilities as you transform your own business, irrespective of the size of the company you are today. So that is very, very fascinating, which is why, again, I believe with the convergence of these technologies and now with 5G coming, we will see an even more faster and rapid pace of change and acceleration in the potential of disruption and business value that you can create for your customers, whether you're a small company or a Fortune 100 company, which will be a fascinating journey we all take. The other point I'll make is whether you're big or small, we've seen a big fundamental shift from profit to purpose, from products from being product centric to being customer centric, from being shareholder focused to being stakeholder focused, which includes your customers, employees, and your business partners. And then from being, like you said, from being linear to being networked. And finally, from being process centric to being data centric. So if you apply some of these fundamentals, whether you're big or small, and really embrace innovation, I think we can truly transform manufacturing globally, especially in the US, as these technologies allow us to improve productivity and scale it. And again, transform the industry like never before. So I'm truly excited to be part of this fourth industrial revolution. And, I also believe that. Um, the Innovation Center, coming back to that point, will play a pivotal role for inspiring our clients and actually turning their vision into reality with co creation and co innovation. So, big thank you for having me. And, hopefully, you're hearing some of the same points from other people you're interacting with as well.
Yeah, Sachin, thank you so much for the insights. And if you're in the audience, stay tuned and engage in a dialogue. Post your question. We will take them to the appropriate people, whether at EI or Nottingham Spurt. Leverage the hashtag on the screen, and we'll follow the progress of the Innovation Hub in Cleveland.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.